I just listened to this whole podcast. It was terrible. I feel like my ears are gonna bleed.
What'd you say? This is Darby Allen, and you're listening to Gimme a Whole Yeah podcast.
Hello, how's it going?
Hello.
So the couple of people that are with us, welcome. This is the Gimme a Whole Yeah podcast. My name is Dom. I have a very special guest this evening, an old friend of mine from back in the day, from my time at Keene State College in the US. It's Emma of the Impact. How are you doing? How's it going? How are you feeling? You're looking super glamorous as always. It's a pleasure to have you.
Well, it's Emma of the Impact / the Heartbreak Kid, Buntrack Miller, my full name, you know.
I love it.
I am doing well. I'm excited to watch tonight's show. And right now, since I am in America and I watch, All Elite on TNT, I have on mute right now Rush Hour 3, and Jackie Chan seems to be fighting himself on the Eiffel Tower. I don't know why, because I haven't seen the movie otherwise, but so it's very good.
It's a classic. I remember watching those films and just for pure entertainment value, like they were awesome. But you obviously do a lot of work in horror and horror films, and obviously you've got you're big on TikTok now and all this other cool stuff. So tell, just for people that either come back here later on, obviously we'll refresh this later on in the stream as well. But tell me a little bit more about the work you do. Because obviously there's so many things. Because I know you as a photographer, as an artist, as a music fan. We obviously connected on our similar taste in music. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about yourself, and for the people that don't know you, because obviously I do. I'm very lucky to know you. But yeah, tell me more about what you do, what projects you have on.
Well, I have too many hobbies, but I've always been a visual arts enthusiast. I do photography, artistic photography as a hobby, and I also am a big horror movie enthusiast, as you mentioned. I am lucky enough, there is a upcoming horror documentary called Mental Health and Horror, very direct, title. There's a lot of cool people doing all the work on it. I'm going to be interviewed for it, and Barbara Crampton is signed on to be interviewed as well. Really cool people that are, work within the horror film industry, talking about how horror movies and horror media has really helped with their mental health and kind of been a certain catharsis and something to empathize with. So that's a really cool project. A lot of super cool people from a lot of different walks of life are creating, and I'm just I was invited because I'm just super lucky in that way. So that's my newest project, and I don't know if you guys know, I'm on Give Me a Whole Yeah right now.
It's good to.
That's Stone Cold, right?
Yeah, that is. That's why we did it. We did it because we had the Stone Cold Steve Austin catchphrase, and we're trying to think of something new. And obviously, there's a Hull. So we are based in Hull in East Yorkshire, or there and thereabouts. And obviously, there is a Hull in Massachusetts. I watched the Super Bowl there when I was last over there. But we were like, what? How can we put our local thing, into this podcast and give it something relatable. Well, not relatable, but how can we put Hull in the name? And there it was. So we're super pleased with the response we've got. We just hit 803 subscribers last week, which is really cool. Obviously, we do have some interviews with WWE superstars on the channel as well. Obviously, AEW stars and Impact Wrestling stars as well. So it's kind of grown. It's kind of grown over lockdown, which is really good. We're really proud of it, really. But it's nice to have friends on it, though. I think it's if anybody watches back to some of the live streams I've done, obviously, especially when it gets to like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, you start to like, if it's me on my own, you're like, you know, you're doing this, especially if it's a, you know, WWE hasn't been great recently. So having friends on, having people like yourself, Emma.
Competition now. They have a bit of competition when it comes
Yes,
to
indeed.
showmanship, and we'll be watching it tonight.
Indeed, we will. Gav's in. Hey, Gav, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Stay on. Hey, Emma. Good to see you, Gav. Thank you for being here. How are you doing, mate? You all right? Yeah, our moderator, Jack, will not be in with us tonight because he is watching the premiere of James Bond. The new James Bond movie is out in the UK. And so he is currently at midnight screening because James Bond is like his thing, his favorite thing in the world. So he will
Isn't that like a national thing in England? Like the new James Bond movie is out and the Queen comes out with her basket of flowers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, very much so. So basically, yeah, we
it's like Princess Di things and James Bond.
Yeah.
Cheerio.
Absolutely. So we're gonna give Jack the night off, but hopefully a couple of people will come and join us, which would be lovely. It's a special episode of Dynamite tonight, Emma, because it's the memorial for Brodie Lee, who died just before I think Boxing Day. He was Boxing Day at the end of last year. Well, yeah, it'll be this year. Yeah, early this year. And some quite a few health issues, and the company really honoured him very well with a special episode. His son was there. It was beautiful, and this is the anniversary of, or certainly a commemorative point for Brodie Lee, just in terms of it's his hometown. There you go. I was trying to connect the dots there because I was having a moment. Yeah, it was.
I'm proud of you. You got there.
Yeah, there you go. I got there eventually. Yeah. So I've just had an ADHD. I've just had an ADHD diagnosis, so like I'm starting to figure out all this stuff.
Oh, it's new for you.
Yeah, very new.
I have that too.
Yeah, well, there you go. So it's like a month ago. Anyway, but yeah, so that's the dots that I'm connecting. It's his hometown. It's the first time they've done a hometown show for him. Or they've been to that place, Rochester, New York, since the memorial show they did for him. I think. Wait, no, yeah. First time they've been back since his death. It's an anniversary show, so they want to pay respects, and that's what we're doing tonight. There's some great matches on. You got Jungle Boy, who is of course it's Luke Perry's son, who's doing really well at the moment. He's fantastic, great performer. He's going to be facing Adam Cole, who's just come over from WWE NXT. He kind of defected. There was rumors that my favorite performer of the last few years, Bray Wyatt. I don't know if you've heard anything about Bray, Emma, but I think he's a fantastic. He's very creative. If you have a second and Google the Fiend Bray Wyatt, I don't know if you've ever seen any of his WWE stuff, but it's. I think it's up your alley. It's like theatrical and it's very Undertaker, and it's.
I love that.
Yeah, it's very Undertaker in its theatre. So yeah, definitely check that out. He's definitely my favorite performer of the last few years, but he's currently on a 90-day no-compete clause. He's been released by WWE a few months ago. But yeah, so there's a couple of reasons why. A lot of people are saying because he was connected. He was like very connected with Brodie Lee before he left WWE, and there was a lot of people with rumblings that Bray was going to debut tonight, although that would be in breach of his 90-day no-compete clause. But because of the nature of the memorial stuff, people were hoping he was going to show up. So Jeff's asked a question. Do you think that Bray's coming tonight? I do not anymore. I wish he was. Obviously, I'm a huge fan. And I think, obviously, because of his connections with Brodie, it would be a beautiful thing to see him. But I don't think that's happening. I think it'd be in direct violation of his WWE no compete clause. And there's rumors that he will be returning to that company, which is why Alexa Bliss has been taking a leave of absence. She's left WWE for a little while. What's up, Dom and lady
Chris
friend?
Jericho's not on tonight, is he?
Yeah, I don't think he is. No.
Because he's one of the ones that got me back into watching wrestling. 'Cause
Yeah.
he did
Jericho.
a guest show on one of my favorite horror shows, The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, because he's a huge horror movie fan and he knows his stuff, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to Canadian horror movies.
Yeah,
So I
man.
was hoping, but he's not. But I looked up the lineup and he's not going to be on tonight.
That's a shame. I'm sorry. Jericho is cool, man. I got to speak to him a few years ago. He's very, very cool. Yeah, very, very cool. I got to do an interview with him about his band Fozzy, and yeah, like he's such a cool personality. But yeah, so happy that he brought you back to wrestling, Emma, which is wonderful.
He did, not directly, but like indirectly, because he seems so cool.
Yeah, he does. He does. I was surprised. I went to see. We had to travel an hour to do it because they were only doing it in select cinemas. But we went to see the new Jay and Silent Bob, the new Jay and Silent Bob film as it was then. I think it was
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Smith so much. He's such a sweetheart.
He's awesome. So we drove like an hour because they were only doing it in select cinemas here. We drove like an hour to see it, and then like obviously Chris Jericho pops up. I was like, "What? This is crazy!" It was an awesome little cameo from Chris Jericho in that movie. So yeah, Chris is great. Jeremy says, "Big Dom, hey Jeremy, how you doing, man? Nice to see you." And yeah, so who else we got here? Gavs says, "Yeah, me and Ellie just watched Van Wilder. I've never seen Van Wilder. Is that a good film?
I haven't seen that either. It's very National Lampoon-y, right? Isn't it college humor?
Yeah. Was it good? Did you guys enjoy it? Thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Obviously, we've had a like on Facebook as well. Thank you wherever you are on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. We appreciate it. Obviously, you may have just missed Emma, my friend, telling you about herself, so you can go back and watch that. And I'm sure there'll be points where we can revamp, we can retell some of your story. But where can that's what we'll do. We'll just keep plugging you. We'll keep plugging you the whole time. We'll keep. Where can people find you? We didn't ask that. So where's the best? So you can follow you on Twitter, which I should have done actually. I should have put you. I can do that now. I might do that for you. Hang on.
Oh, it's not a big deal. I'm a pretty chill, relaxed person in that sense. The easiest way, if I'm on a certain social media platform, if you search Emma the Impact, you're gonna find me because I'm the only one.
I think
that's
I've done that right.
Anyone. I make little TikToks about horror movies. This is a little hobby, but Twitter, Instagram is, if you want to see my photography, that's on Instagram, and my website, which is just emmatheimpactphotography.com. So just Emma the Impact, easy,
Absolutely. So I put your Twitter handle down there, just below you, so you can follow Emma if you do want to support what Emma's doing. And my Emma is in the chat as well. Hey, darling, hope you're okay. Hope you're all right. Like 2 minutes down the hall from me. Hope you're all right. Emmas are everywhere right now. Absolutely. Emmas are great. You were saying this before we started. The Emmas are the best.
Emmas are, right? I've never met an Emma I didn't like, although we used to be rare. Like I used to never meet another Emma, and then it became super popular when the characters on Friends, Rachel and the David Schwimmer character named their baby Emma, and then all of a sudden Emmas are everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we in our household, we're quite big Friends fans, so yeah, I can certainly see that because it's still popular now. Like with people, like obviously Emma's kids watch Friends. My Emma's kids watch Friends like as if it was like the best thing in the world. So it's still a weird cultural phenomenon. People still watch it,
There was that reunion. It was never my favorite thing. I never disliked it, but it was one of those things. Because everything was in syndicate when I watched it. Those shows, I'm not a night owl, and I was young. I was young then. I was young once. The syndicate things back when we were youngins, I used to watch a lot of TV. I still do. And I will when I die. I hope to die watching a movie. That's my hope. and I mean that in it's like a pleasant thing, like a nice request. Doesn't have to be my favorite movie, but just a movie. But no, the Syndicate stuff I watched was usually Seinfeld or Frasier or something like that. But I remember my cousin is a little older than me. He's about 4 years older than me, which when you're kids, that's a big deal. And he caught Hulk Hogan more in his prime. And so he was a Hulk Hogan fan hugely. And he would always rent the movie. I can't remember the title of it, but it's the movie where Hulk Hogan is a nanny.
Yeah, Mr. Nanny. Yeah, we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch that on the podcast. You have to come and watch that with us. It's great.
Oh, I would love that. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but he'd rent it. It feels like I've seen that movie 1,000 times, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid. And I just remember there's a lot of jokes about a cat being stuck in a tree. Like it begins and ends with that. Yeah. So and the funny thing is, I recently saw. It wasn't centered around Hulk Hogan, but because that's one of my earliest wrestling memories is around that time, is that how his finishing move is not very exciting to look at, like the leg
drop,
the leg drop, and he's not, and he's not, he has regrets about it, not only because it's not really a fan pleaser. Oh, in memory of John Hoover, there we go. It's starting.
Yeah, it's started. Yeah.
And so I'm gonna put my volume on. I got my headphones on, so we don't have any playback. But so was I talking about Hulk Hogan, the nanny?
yeah, Hulk Hogan and the Nanny. Yeah, it's definitely a film we're gonna watch at some point on the stream because it's a classic, and I haven't seen it since I was a kid either. We have CM Punk coming out first, which is cool. For AEW.
It was so cool when he came back. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment for sure. It was a beautiful moment that. And there he is with his Rancid jumper on as well. That's cool, Rancid hoodie.
I love the story of all. Not that I know the full story, but the whole thing with all of these starting up with. Rusty's son, and it's just so cool. You will love to support them.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? You have Cody Rhodes, obviously Dusty Rhodes' son. You had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega as well. And it was just an awesome kind of sort of story. And obviously some of the signings they've got recently. Daniel Bryan, obviously they bought CM Punk, responsible for bringing CM Punk back to wrestling too. So that's it's amazing. I love your excitement for it. And I love your excitement. It's great to see people paying tribute to Brodie, of course. The signs everywhere.
I know he's kind of a jerk, but I would love to see some Shawn Michaels Heartbreak Kid stuff because he's just he plays so much into that character that I miss it. And I miss the kick to the face.
The super kick. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
There we go. Cool. This is awesome, man. It's so cool to see a lot of people getting behind. Brodie, of course, the legend of Brodie Lee. A lot of people wearing T-shirts, the signs there. Obviously, CM Punk, one of the biggest names in wrestling. We got some interesting matches tonight. We got a trios match. We got the Dark Order and Orange Cassidy in action. Obviously, the Dark Order were Brodie Lee's faction before he passed away. So we're going to get some good action tonight, Emma. You've missed the last couple of shows, you said, so you're excited to get back into it tonight.
Yes, I am, very much so. It's just one of those things that you just instantly feel so happy. Like there's a happiness radiation. You're like, this is where I should be right now at this moment.
Absolutely.
And there's something I love watching the crowd. There's something about wrestling fans that's just really special, and there's really kind of like that kinship, and just kind of like it transcends certain things. I mean, personal differences aside, we're here to enjoy this. It's kind of like a church in a way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing to kind of it brings everyone together. Like I say, we haven't seen each other in a few years, and it's just nice to see you, and obviously nice to talk wrestling with you. Wrestling is one of my favorite things, and I'm so glad you shared that story about Chris Jericho bringing you back into wrestling. It's wonderful that AEW can do that. It's wonderful that wrestling can do that for you because you're a busy person. You're a busy person with lots going on. So it's great that we can steal some of your time today and watch wrestling with you. It's an absolute.
It's an honor to be invited. It's an honor to be invited because I love talking about my favorite things. Who doesn't?
Absolutely. So we got Adam Cole in the ring now. For those that are that don't know, I'm watching on the Fight Network. Emma is in America, so he's watching it on TNT. Whatever you're watching on, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Obviously, we had some lovely chats for Brodie Lee. We've had CM Punk come out on commentary. We're now getting Jungle Boy, of course, Jack Perry's son. Who's obviously he was in what was Jack? Oh, I forget what he was in now. It was like was it 90210 he was in? Jack Perry?
No, that's a different Perry. That's Luke Perry.
Oh, is it the same? Hang on a second. Yeah, bear with me a sec.
Luke Perry passed away.
Oh wait, okay, there you go. No, Jack Perry is Jungle Boy. Luke Perry is his dad. There we go.
He's Luke Perry's son. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
what?
That's Luke Perry's son. There we go.
Oh my God! I didn't know that. That is so cool.
Absolutely.
He passed away not that long ago, a few years ago.
Now you know. Cool, huh?
Now I know Jungle Boy. Now I have a little bit more of affection for Jungle Boy.
I mean, put my headphones in properly. Hang on a second. Okay.
You're the host, Dom.
Botch on the stream. Bear with me a sec. There we go. I can hear you.
Oh, good. I don't have anything important to say, but you can hear me.
It's okay.
Jungle Boy. He's Luke Perry's son.
That's Luke Perry's son. There you go. That was my blockbuster thing. I meant to plug. I was having a bit of an audio issue there, guys. I was totally switching headphones around, and I plugged them into the wrong computer because this is what it's like streaming on the Gimme a Whole Yeah podcast. For those that don't know, Emma, you've obviously not been on here loads. I always make mistakes. I'm always messing up, and I've become known as the guy that does the botch. They call them, when you make mistakes in wrestling, they're called botches. So I'm like the king of the botch wrestling streams. I'm always making mistakes.
You're the mighty botch instead of the mighty boosh. You're like mighty botch.
Absolutely. God, they're redoing that show. They're bringing it back, by the way. I'm sure you'd be pleased
with
to
the same guys.
Yeah, same guys.
Oh, that's so cool! I love that.
Yeah, cool. Huh?
I think one of my favorite skits on that is King of the Mods, when he's the king of the episode where he's the king of the mods, and then there's the mod wolves. I don't know why I said mod, but then did a beatnik kind of thing there.
I'll forgive you. It's all right. Yeah, okay. The Mighty Boosh. So I think we've talked about this before, but so there's two characters in that. Obviously, the two main characters, and you've got I'm gonna have to remember the guy's name now. It's escaping me.
Well, I don't know if he's been, I think he's been on Mighty Boosh, but only very briefly. One of my favorite of those Brit comedians that are just genius is, I'm going to forget. It's funny because I kind of have a crush on him, and my mom's like, he just has darker hair and he looks just like Tor. Matt Berry.
Okay. Matt Berry. Yeah, Matt Berry. He's great.
Tor's my other half, for those that don't know. Is like, who's like the Scandinavian, salt and pepper version of Matt Berry, kind of.
Absolutely. No, he's I can totally see that. You're absolutely right. So Tor's a good-looking man. Your other half is a good-looking man, for sure.
A lot of it's the hair,
I mean, it's he had the facial hair when I last saw him as well. It's very distinguished.
But he actually gets mistaken for a celebrity sometimes, a specific celebrity. And the funny thing is, it's like just by total coincidence. So this celebrity is still alive, and they don't look like each other now in the same time. Like with this celebrity's a little older than Tor. But they looked at, there's like certain, it's Bjorn Ulvaeus from ABBA.
Yeah, of course he's gonna. Yeah, I can see that totally. Absolutely.
It's like they don't look like each other now in the same time frame, but there's like times when Bjorn had lighter hair and it was long and it looks, and they have like the same eye set, and people like, and he has the accent because he's also, Tor is also actually from Sweden, so people, it's happened twice, which I think is a big, and I think it's hilarious every time it happens. I hope it happens more, and they're like, "Excuse me, are you Bjorn?"
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that's hilarious for sure. I could totally see it as well. I'm
trying to get him to buy those high boots and wear them for me.
Absolutely.
That, all those crazy outfits.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you got to get him to wear those for the special occasions. The special occasions, you got to get him to wear the high boots for you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So my original point was that Julian Barrett, the guy that plays one of the main characters, he's from Yorkshire, where I'm from. So that's how I relate now to American, like, people that know the Mighty Boosh, that are from America, that I communicate with. They're like, "Oh, you're from that place that Julian Barrett's from," in the Mighty Boosh. Yeah, Yorkshire's not really big on, I guess, Game of Thrones. That had a lot of people from Yorkshire in it, but like, and then Sean Bean.
There's not a lot of celebrities from. There's not a lot of well, that sounds like a lot of celebrities from Yorkshire.
There are more now. There are more now than there ever have been, for sure. Well, I'll get to some comments.
Well, I'm just a couple towns over from where Adam Sandler is from. So there you go.
There you go. Absolutely. So we'll call some wrestling action in a minute, but we'll just say hi to Mikhail is in. Hi, Mikhail. Nice to see you. Ivan is in, showing the American flags. I'm assuming that's in tribute to this Emma, and also 2017 is when Luke Perry passed away, right? Okay. Dom the Botch is my nickname. It is, I make all this Jack.
The Mighty Botch. The Mighty Botch.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my name. Ivan, you're gonna miss Jack tonight. Unfortunately, he's not here. He's watching James Bond. So you can't get a hold of.
It's that British thing they do. The national. Yeah. Dom's actually breaking the law by not watching it right now.
Yeah, I know. No,
he's here streaming wrestling because that's what his heart wants, and he wants to do it for you guys. But he's gonna get fined for not being at the James Bond.
I'm gonna lose British points. So I'll be an honorary American for this.
If we were on a more movie centered, I would ask you about your history with Hammer horror, but I will ask you at another time because we're watching wrestling right now.
There'll be time for that. There's lots of other projects and lots of other things where I'm gonna try and fit you in, Emma.
I would be more than honored because you're one of the best people I know. I'm not just saying that. You're just such a sweetheart, and you're so creative, and you're so good at involving so many cool people in a lot of cool projects.
I do my best, but like I say, this is actually the most fun because Anthony, the guy that I told you about before we started the stream, the guy I went to high school with, he just bullies me the whole time. He's the guy that I set the podcast up with. He's just really mean to me all the time.
I can fill in for him I can be a real bully. I can.
I've never seen that side of you. And so maybe there'll be a podcast I'll dedicate entirely to being bullied by both of you. I'm sure that there'll be a time when Anthony can come in as well.
I only like bullying Tor because when you just you're the meanest to the ones you love. I mean, I am to my friends too, but it's just Tor knows that everything I say is nonsense when I'm bullying. Although I have hurt his feelings on occasion, but I don't mean it.
Yeah.
I love the sign. This is AEW. See, awesome. That's so cute. I love wrestling fans. Yeah, I do. I was tempted. I'm probably not going to make it this time, but they're showing up. Not the next show, but I think the show after. They're going to be in Boston, and this must be so amazing to see live.
It's one of my goals. Next time I'm back, I've sort of tried.
Bring me with you.
Yeah, I've tried to tick off little bucket list things when I've been back. My last one was to go see the Blue Man Group and I actually did that. I got to do that in Boston. I always wanted to see the Blue Man Group. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go and see wrestling because I'm going to actually go see wrestling in America live I've seen it in the UK, but obviously it's not the same. I could take, I'll bring you. We can go together. We'll go see an AEW show.
You got to bring Jim too. Bring Jim. Bring Faith.
Absolutely. Ivan. To be fair, I have promised Ivan that we would go to WrestleMania, which is obviously the WWE show in Los Angeles. I think it's coming up in 2 years. I think it's that next year or the year after. And I did promise a couple of people, Ivan is one of them, that we would all have a Gimme a Whole Yeah, because the majority of people, as you can imagine, Emma, that do come on to the podcast and do say hi are American. So, we've got a little network of people outside of, the friends that we have in common, you and I. I've got like a whole little network of wrestling fans now because of the podcast, which is good.
That's so cool. I remember when you first told me you were into wrestling, I'm like, but you're British.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I just had no idea that they showed WWE or anything over there.
I was into it. when we were at Keene, man. I've been into it for a long time. Like I say, the novelty of actually watching it at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. was awesome, because I've always had to watch it at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., which is, as you can imagine, very tiring. Very tiring. It gets really, especially if you're on your own. This is why it's good to have you here, because I'm not on my own. I feel motivated.
You're motivated. I'm a person that needs their sleep, even when I was younger. The last thing I stayed up for was because I missed wrestling the last 2 times, was Elvira had a special, and I had to stay up for that.
I saw something advertised about that. Yeah.
She's the coolest. She's so rad. I'm gonna. So I don't know if any of the, because sometimes wrestling fans and horror fans cross over a lot, and that's how I got back into wrestling. As I said before, with Jericho being on the last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs twice, and he knew about these movies. Jericho knows about, he knows a lot of really direct details about movies, and movies that no people have heard of, like the movie Things, which he hates, but fair enough. It's a terrible movie. And the male girl, Joe Bob Briggs is this co-host. She's Darcy, the male girl, is a huge elite wrestling fan. She goes to the shows, and she lives around LA, and she's the one that got Jericho to come on, which wasn't hard because he's a cool guy that loves to talk about cool things. Yeah. So.
That's awesome, man. Like I say, it's cool there is that crossover. I just watched the new, I know we're supposed to be talking about wrestling, but I just watched the new Candyman remake that they did just now.
Yeah.
I was hugely into that. I really like, is it Abdul Mateen too? I think he's a great performer. I think that it was just the best. I only watched the original Candyman, and I'm really sorry to say this, about a month ago. And then for the first time,
that's okay, man. I mean, better late than never. The only reason I saw it so young was because the Sci-Fi Channel. When growing up, I watched the Sci-Fi Channel a lot, and the Sci-Fi Channel just happened to have it on all the time. Of course, it was a little edited to take a little bit of the gorier pieces out because it's cable television. I feel like I should have some kind of. I can't think of the word. That the old type of record player that has like a thing coming out of it, and like a cane. I don't know. Back in my day when we had cable television on the Sci-Fi Channel. But I am also a Trekkie, and Tony Todd, the original Candyman, he also plays Worf's brother in Next Generation. Now I'm getting ultra nerd. Here we go.
I love it. So I was a Star Trek fan too growing up. Star Trek Voyager and Enterprise particularly. Yeah, I had a big crush on
Enterprise. I have to admit, I know a little less because I had missed it when it was on. When it aired for one reason or another. So I watched it. I watched it out of order specifically for the guest stars. I'm like, Brett Spiner, Data is guest starring, so watch that. Or Jeffrey Combs from, Reanimator. He plays my favorite Andoran in Enterprise. So that's gonna be my number one because I have multiple Halloween costumes for every year. But my main one that is new this year is I'm going to I'm going to dress up as an Andorran hybrid. I wanted to make a little bit more prosthetics for the face than Andorrans usually have, the blue dudes with the antennae.
Nice.
So I'll just say it's a hybrid, so that way people can't say I'm doing it
cool.
wrong.
It's cool, man.
Yeah,
Obviously, people can go to your TikTok and Twitter and see all that stuff as well, because you become very popular on social media for your videos, and you always exude so much confidence in those, and I always want to like you always look so confident. I always wanted to ask you if you were actually really confident doing them, or like...
Well, the thing is, it's not so much because I can be a shy person at times, but it's not so much confidence, it's just enthusiasm. I'm just so excited to talk about whatever I'm talking about or create whatever I'm creating that it kind of and I actually got a message once, because sometimes we're a little tough on ourselves and we think, why did I do that publicly? That was a little stupid, or what have you, or maybe that was a little attention seeking. But I actually received a message from, it was the daughter who was probably about 13 of a friend of mine. She said, I love watching your stuff. It inspires me to be more myself. And I'm like, oh,
amazing.
God, that is
amazing.
So sweet. Because I don't see myself as a content creator. I'm just like somebody that just loves and enjoys doing what they do and sharing it. So when you're not like when it's not a job like it is for some people, it's easier to have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way of looking at it. Actually, I should think a little bit more like that sometimes, because like, even though I do it for a job, it's it's nice to just enjoy stuff. Like the band stuff I do is for fun, and this is for fun as well. We're not monetized yet. We're a couple of hundred away from that, so that's a point. If you come back to this later, I feel like we've not talked about wrestling a lot, so I will probably do more of that.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm loving this outfit that's coming out right now. I just got to say that. You see this outfit? You see this outfit?
The Young Bucks, man. And we're going to a break now, I think. So we will talk more about your stuff as we come to throughout.
We got to talk more wrestling too. Wrestling is an interesting thing where it is one of the most popular things in America anyway, because I know theaters. So not that theater isn't big here in New York and in Los Angeles, stage theater, but it's different than London to an extent. I'm not a big expert on that, but it's just an interesting thing where these men that are like these, the standard thought of what masculine is, which is really more of a broad thing, but the thing we've known for years, but it's so theatrical. It's amazing to me, and people don't, and there's no stigma around it, like, oh, why is he wearing that thing? It's wrestling. That's what it is. We're having fun. This is what's happening. I wish I could spill over into other things too, but wrestling is. We should be more like the theatrical wrestling. Is all I'm saying. We just should strive for that and more acceptance of different things.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, it's about accepting. Again, people for a long time, people wouldn't talk about being wrestling fans because of sort of the stigma around it, and I think now more than ever, I think people are getting back into it, coming back to it, and realizing a lot of it's got to do with AEW as well, and the way AEW is presented. It's a proper. It just feels like everybody really loves what they're doing and really enjoys the performance out of it. It's a performance art. I always call wrestling like a soap opera. It's a soap opera for predominantly guys, but it's a soap opera, and I always love that, but I certainly feel prouder now, obviously, talking about it. It's funny you mentioned, because I don't think you knew I was a wrestling fan back when we met, but I didn't used to talk about it at all because people would make fun of me, and whereas now it seems to be much more accepted. I'd like to think it's much more accepted to be a wrestling fan nowadays. I would think. I don't know.
I would think so too. At least I'd hope so. I mean, because I'm in middle school or high school, which I graduated, for reference for the folks, I graduated high school in 2005, so that's the time frame of it. Is you were one of the hick kids if you liked wrestling, was the thing,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm like, maybe I am. So what?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because and for the out wrestling kid fans, the Undertaker was big, the Hardy Boys were big.
Yeah.
That was really big, and it was always fun, you know. So I never got why people judged that. So
No.
I mean, and that was about the time the rise of reality TV show. So it's like, why is watching reality? I'm not judging that. I think people should like what they like. Nothing against reality television, but you know, I just don't see how you can like one thing and stick your nose up at another. You know,
it's true. And again, ever since we've been doing this podcast, we build a community, you know, around us. You know, people that really like, you know, they come back or they come check out the videos later on. And it's awesome, you know, and it's a pleasure to again to sort of be able to build a community. You know, my friend Rivers, who is also a fan of horror movies, has been on the podcast. He's obviously connected with you as well. There's
he did this awesome drawing of me and Vincent Price. It's one of my favorite things ever.
Rivers,
he's so talented.
Rivers
love
is
it
great.
So much.
Rivers is great. What I'll do, my dream is to have you both on together at one time. He's a lovely guy. Lives maybe about 20 minutes away from where I am. He's a super talented dude, and I've got a lot of love for him. But yeah, so
have you guys been in the same band before?
No, but we played. How we met was our bands played together, so that's how we met each other. So it's funny how the world works, isn't it? It's really interesting.
It is. It's great.
And then we can reconnect on here. I think it's great. Just to go back to the ring right now, we got Adam Cole in the ring. With the Elite, so that's the Young Bucks looking super fancy in their shorts and shirts. You've got the Good Brothers.
So fun.
They are. They got the Good Brothers in there as well. Seems like even the heels, even the bad guys tonight are playing to the crowd, because you know obviously the nature of tonight is feel good. You know it's positive because of Brodie Lee. People are chanting CM Punk. Nakazawa, I believe that is on the microphone right now. There might be a slight time delay versus where you are and where I am. So hopefully we're aligned-ish at the moment. But at the moment,
no, I just held.
Go on. Where are you, Emma?
They just held the mic over to the ref there.
Okay,
is he the ref?
Yeah, we're around there. We've got Kenny
and
Omega.
We're all chanting for CM Punk.
Yeah. So I might be slightly ahead, but I think we'll be okay. We've got Kenny Omega on the microphone now, wearing the Red Con 1 t-shirt. He's what's he doing? He's talking about the greatest match ever that he had last week with Bryan Danielson, who is, of course, Daniel Bryan in WWE, for those that don't know. He also made the jump the same night as Adam Cole a few weeks ago now. So, yeah, it looks like we're going to get some fallout from that match this week. People chanting yes, which is the Daniel Bryan chant, obviously. Bryan Danielson chant now.
Is that what the belt's for? The belt he's wearing now?
Yeah, he's like the world champion. He's like the world champion. But so last week he had a match with Bryan Danielson, who's coming out now. So he's the guy coming out now. So they had a match last week, and it was non-title. So there was the title wasn't on the line. So now it was a time limit draw. So they drew. They didn't. Neither of them won. So what we're getting now is we're going to get a rematch, I imagine, and it's going to be for the title. I would imagine. Fingers crossed. Just to get through some comments while we got Bryan Danielson, PSN Psychosis in. He says, "Sup, brother? Nice to see you." Crazy Ginger Jake is in as well. Hello. Good to see you, dude. Mikhail asks who I'm talking to. I'm talking to my friend Emma. You can check her out.
Hello. I've got dogs.
Absolutely. We got dogs.
This one, awesome. Dom, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
So where's his face?
beautiful.
This is Wolfgang.
Oh,
He's sleeping.
Oh, bless. I love that they just sat with you while you're watching wrestling. That's awesome. That's so wholesome.
And then there's my other dog. Sorry about this. There's my other dog. See that little face?
Yeah, I do. Hey.
I've got a girl, and she's guarding the stairway. She's the rough one. She could be a wrestler.
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
The toughie.
Absolutely. So
the
we've
boys
got,
are softies.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Honestly, beautiful dogs. Can't wait to see them again at some point. Just amazing.
We'll try to make it so they don't wake you up. Wolfgang's a little older, so hopefully he won't wake you up again in the night.
It's all right. Don't worry. It's all good. I don't mind. I'm more than happy for that. So just going back to the action, we have Bryan Danielson. I've got to get used to that name change. Calling Kenny Omega Kenny No Balls Omega. And now I believe the fans are chanting that as well.
And for those that just came on, Dom doesn't just botch; it's the Mighty Botch. Is Dom
yeah,
now.
I'm gonna change my name. Actually, that's gonna be my name.
Mighty Botch. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It was I loved when seeing CM Punk come back. I mean, that amazing. Just brought back so many memories.
It was amazing.
Memories of lying in front of the television, but very fond memories.
Absolutely. Print the Kenny No Balls t-shirts. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. That's a money maker right there. So Bryan Danielson wants a match with Kenny right now.
He's got Buddha beads on right now too, I think. That's funny. I'm sorry, that's just funny. Aren't those what those are on his wrist?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not.
Yeah. I think so. So we've got.
They look like Buddha. They might not be.
Oh no! Wait. Yeah. No, I don't know. So we've got Bryan Danielson. We've got the Elite Hunter. Whatever is it? I can't. Kazarian. That's his name. You've got Jungle Boy, obviously, who we've just seen. And we've got Luchasaurus. That's the guy that is a dinosaur. That's his gimmick. That's his thing. He is an actual dinosaur. Or a dinosaur with a master's degree. That's his thing. The guy dressed like a dinosaur there. He has a master's degree and he's very proud of it.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. The crowd's still chanting Kenny No Balls. Sorry, been away for a little bit. Just been modding for a friend. No worries, Gav. It's a pleasure to have you back. Thank you for being here. So cool. So we got the heels, the bad guys, retreating up the ramp.
I love the heels. I mean, obviously, as somebody that likes the Heartbreak Kid, there's something about the heels.
Absolutely, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. If you need a,
I think that's the best theme song. I think there's no better theme song than "Sexy Boy."
There isn't. Yeah, there is no better. There's no
chance he's going to be on Elite, right? I mean,
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
He seems pretty retired.
He's very retired. He's very retired now. Yeah, absolutely, very retired, and obviously very WWE, isn't he? He's a very WWE guy.
He was so big on there. I can't imagine that. Yeah, if he ever came back, it would be on WWE.
Yeah, absolutely.
For maybe a little pop in.
Yeah. No,
I just like to see the dance. Yeah, and maybe one face kick. Just one.
The sweet chin music. Yeah,
yes. I don't meet many people that know that the sweet chin music. I love it. Oh, now I'm seeing. You're probably seeing different commercials, but now they're showing a commercial for Joker, which is odd because it's an older movie. I mean, it's the television premiere on Saturday. That's cool. Why.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love that film. Very much more gritty, much darker than kind of we're used to with DC. Well, it was I believe it was done for DC Dark. It was like a special DC film, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's its own thing. I mean, it's very highly inspired by a lot of things, but a lot of the one of the best like it was one of my dad's favorite movies, who was a cinephile too. The King of Comedy, and that's a big reason which stars Robert De Niro, and that's one of the big reasons Robert De Niro's in the movie. And Robert De Niro plays more of the Joker type character.
Yeah.
And it also stars Jerry Lewis.
Nice.
as
Nice,
well. Hey, lady! Although he's not, he plays the Johnny Carson type character in it. And it's an earlier Scorsese film. Not only is it a brilliant film in general, but it's one of those movies that captures a specific time inadvertently that it just doesn't exist, especially in New York. I could list a lot of films that also show that specific time in New York, but I won't bore you to death about that. But
I mean, it's all good. I mean, like I say, one day we're gonna have a bunch of film streams, and I think I'm gonna get you back as a regular guest so we can talk about film stuff, because it's certainly.
I highly recommend King of Comedy. It's very it's I also recommend.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah. It's very. I really think about it now because there's more with social media and everything. There's the whole thing with the parasocial relationship we have with certain celebrities or influencers, and that movie that's real. A lot of what that movie is about, and.
Oh, are you still with me? You've frozen a bit.
For a night and smuck for a lifetime, and it's a. Oh no! I was talking about. I did a Robert De Niro quote, although I didn't do the voice.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
The main. I talk too much. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's because you cut out for a little bit. So I didn't get the quote. I'm so gutted. I didn't get De Niro.
So it's like a Robert De Niro. So it's kind of like, we have that parasocial relationship with social media influencers and celebrities. And that movie is all about Robert De Niro, who plays a guy that has like that parasocial thing. Oh, we're back. Almost. Parasocial thing with the Johnny Carson type character played by Jerry Lewis. And the big line from that is better to be king for a day than smuck for a lifetime. And it's a very different role for him. He plays a very different character. I highly recommend it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. We're looking for new films to watch as well. For the stream, so that's definitely something we can look at. There's because I've not seen that.
Oh, we got to see The Nanny. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
I don't think I've watched it since before I met you. So yeah, definitely gonna watch that again. Like first time since we were kids. That'd be awesome, actually, to do. We'll have to do that.
Yeah, for those who haven't, like my cousin was a little, when your kid's age is like 4 years seems like a lifetime almost, or it kind of is in a weird way. My cousin kind of got the heyday of Hulk Hogan, so he'd always rent that specific Hulk Hogan movie, The Nanny. So I saw it a million times when I was a kid. I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, definitely will watch it. Definitely will watch it. That sounds awesome. Sounds good. Gav says James Woods in Videodrome is fantastic. I've not seen Videodrome either. That's on my bucket list. You
got to get on that, especially spooky season. It's a Cronenberg movie, so that's another Canadian like Jericho.
There you go.
Those Canadians.
I'm gonna watch that. Yeah. We actually had someone say earlier about it was Gav actually who talked about Lance Storm being another great Canadian wrestler. Yeah, Lance Storm is awesome. He I think he had his retirement match maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but he's super talented wrestler as well. Hang on a second. Jeff says Dante Martin is a weird case, gets no reaction on his entrances, but will have people going nuts halfway through the match. Yeah, Dante Martin's one of the guys. I think he's just about to wrestle Emma. I think he's teaming with Cody Rhodes. So obviously Cody's coming out right now. I've heard good things about Dante Martin, Jeff. I haven't been, obviously, we don't always do Dynamites. Anthony is usually the person that does these because he doesn't work on a Thursday morning, but he's working tomorrow. So I haven't been keeping up with Dynamite as much as I'd like, but I've heard good things about that guy. So I'm looking forward to watching this match as well. Do you have a favorite, apart from the obvious ones, Emma, apart from CM Punk, and do you have a favorite AEW performer that you've kind of got your eye on at the moment?
Oh, well, I'm just getting back into it. So right now I'm just with CM Punk and I Love Jericho.
Okay, that's cool. That's good. That's a good, yeah, that's cool.
So I'm just kind of taking it all in,
Good. That's what we like to hear. Again,
I'm looking for our new for my new sexy boy, but not like my new Shawn Michaels, my new
Absolutely.
He's a jerk, but I love that he's a jerk.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think
heel.
we might have one for you guys in the chat. I don't know if you agree, but there's a guy on AEW called MJF, and he goes by the name Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Is his long form name. But MJF is his short form name, and he's probably the best heel in wrestling right now, and he is on AEW. Hopefully, we'll see him in a little while. But he is very much that kind of character, and I think a lot of people sort of dig his, because he's so good at being a bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. There's some people that really play into that role so well.
Absolutely. Nokashoko was in Albino Farm. Never seen it though. I've never seen that either.
I haven't seen that. That's I'll have to write that one. I haven't seen Albino Farm.
That's cool, man. I did not know that. See, this is what I love. I love this. Probably the best heel. That's an understatement. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but a lot of people have a lot of love for MJF, even though he is a bad guy.
You're mighty botching it, Dom. You're mighty botching it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry.
No. I like it. I like to say that's going to be my new thing. That is going to be my new name when it comes to the wrestling podcast. I'm definitely gonna go. I'm sure Anthony would really appreciate that as well. Right. Gav says Orange Cassidy's so great. Yeah, he's fantastic. Have you seen Orange Cassidy yet, Emma? He's I
don't think I have.
Very comedic wrestler. So his whole gimmick is that he doesn't really he doesn't really care about anything. So he wrestles entire matches with his hands in his pockets and sunglasses on.
So
yeah, he just he's kind of indifferent.
He's too cool for school.
Yeah. So he's indifferent to everything. So he's really slow. He'll walk down to the ring really slowly. He'll have his hands in his pockets the whole time. Does some amazing dives and things, but with his hands in his pockets, and his shades on. He's always got shades on. So he's a very entertaining character. Hopefully, I think we do see him tonight. I think he is on tonight. So
who are some of your favorites on tonight?
Well, there's a guy called Darby Allin, and you'll see. I still haven't, I'm still kind of living the goth phase, of my life and my youth. I've kind of always been a bit goth. So you have
Once
now.
Dom, always a goth. When I met Dom, he had all the wristbands that were popular of the early 2000s, and he had his glam rock arm and his goth rock arm.
Yeah, I did.
Band.
That was good times, man.
And I instantly was like, this guy has got to be my friend. That is so cool.
Good times, man. Good times. But yeah, we have so you have Sting. So obviously Sting is a wrestling legend. He came into AEW. He obviously has the crow face paint and stuff on still. And you have Darby Allin.
Okay, I'm gonna like him too then, because Brendan Lee the Crow.
Yeah, so Sting has been a wrestler for 30 years. But he's
so he's from WWE too.
He's from WCW. He was a WCW guy.
Oh, okay.
Which was the original. So AEW now is to WWE. WCW used to be like what AEW is. It was the alternative in the 90s and early 2000s. So before we met, there was WCW, and that was the biggest competition to WWE. And Sting
did WWE buy them out?
Yes, they did. Yes. So Sting was WCW's answer to, say, Stone Cold. He was that big. He was a big deal. But his gimmick was kind of cashing in on the 90s popularity of goth culture and the Crow and all that stuff. And so he still has that gimmick. kind of now in 2021. But there's a younger guy who's like a skateboarder, a sort of punk dude. He does all kinds of crazy dives. His finisher is called the coffin drop, so suitably goth. And he's kind of great. So I like him a lot. I'm a big fan of his. He's like my favorite performer at the moment, I think, who's in AEW. There's loads of other ones as well. Obviously, I still love Chris Jericho. In terms of these guys that are in the ring right now, I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes. Obviously, you mentioned before Dusty Rhodes' son. He's the one that's the blonde guy is the one that started AEW. So like he's a brilliant talent. He's a great talent. He's fantastic.
Oh,
yeah,
I love it. I always love a kick. A
good drop kick, yeah. And, the snap power slam from Cody there, 1-2. And a kick out.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's good.
I'm trying to pay attention to both you and what's going on the screen too. Both screens.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. 6 people in now. We've just had Cody in, who we've not met before. Cody says, it's all about the boom. Yes, indeed it is. Good Adam Cole reference there. That's, of course, his theme music. Good to see you, Cody. Hope you're enjoying AEW tonight. Thank you for being here. Gav says you should watch Anaconda. I don't want to watch Anaconda because I'm afraid of snakes.
Oh no, but it's so fun. It's got John Voight in it with a ridiculous accent. It's so and it's got Ice Cube in it too.
I think I've seen a bit of it. You see, the problem is, we didn't really, I'm not a horror movie fan traditionally because I get really scared quite easily.
You're sensitive. You're a sensitive soul.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I still remember how scared I was because, like, early on in my time in Keene, I was still trying to make friends. Like, obviously, when we met, and I think we went to see, like, the first, as it would have been, maybe the first Saw movie together. It was like...
that was the second Saw movie. And then Jim and Faith went, too.
Yeah. So it was the second movie. I think Allison was there and a bunch of other people. Maybe. I don't even know. I don't think they were because that was quite late on. But yeah, so it was Jim, Faith, me, and you. And I was like so focused on like trying to kind of get to know people that I was like, oh yeah, I'll go. But actually, I'm super scared of I'm not a big like.
That's not really a good film for people that are like light horror fans because that's like a really rough one. That was the one with the pit of syringes. That's really That's rough. That's one of the rougher scenes in those movies too. Is that pit of syringes? Like that wasn't easy for me either.
Yeah, I still remember that. Like just because I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm here. I gotta make some friends. These people seem cool, so I'll go to this horror film. And I was like scared out of my wits, but it was good because we ended up being here we are in 2021, so it was worth it. It was totally worth it.
I think Ryan went too. I can't remember though.
Yeah.
He probably did. Yeah.
I mean,
if I went to a movie, he was probably always there. I mean, even if he wasn't, like in my mind, he was. So yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, well, I'll ask you. I'll ask you later because that's just us catching up as friends. He seems to be doing really well.
Yeah,
he's back in New Hampshire now.
I'm pleased for him. Yeah, it's good. Cody says, I'm from the Wrestle Story. Thanks, mate. Well, yeah, it's good. Thank you for coming over from the Wrestle Story, dude. We really appreciate you being here, man. Obviously, you got a little love to the Wrestle Story. Good friends of ours as well. You should watch a young Owen Wilson, apparently. I didn't know a young Owen Wilson was in the Anaconda film. There you go.
So Anaconda is not like Saw 2. Anaconda is just kind of a fun movie, and the snake looks really CGI fake, which is just adds to the fun. It's not a movie that is really it's not disturbing and scary. It's just kind of fun. Just so and Jennifer Lopez is in it too.
Cool. Well, maybe maybe I'll do an Anaconda stream. We'll do a live stream of Anaconda.
Tor loves Anaconda, and he doesn't like snakes either.
There you go. It's probably classic for ridiculous reasons. Like it's so silly, it's good. Like one of those films.
But it takes itself seriously. It's not like Sharknado where it like goes full blown.
Yeah.
It takes itself seriously enough, but is like goofy enough.
There's some films So it's kind of like there's a film like that everybody loves that I just can't get behind because it's so ridiculous. Have you seen The Room? Have you seen The Room before?
Oh yeah. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen the
oh
movie.
hi.
Yeah, no.
I can't.
Oh,
watch
hi,
that.
Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
You
Yeah.
can't watch The Room.
No.
Anaconda's not The Room bad. It's not
Okay.
that bad. No,
Okay.
not anywhere close. No. It's got Owen Wilson in it. How bad can it be? You know?
Yeah.
And John
Absolutely.
Voight.
Absolutely. Well,
No,
definitely.
it's not that. It's
You can come back. You come back on the channel. Come back on the channel, and we'll watch Anaconda together.
okay. I love Anaconda. I don't know why it's not a line that's supposed to be memorable, but it's John Voight just says they're just a lot of baby snakes, and I don't know why. Every time I see like more than one snake together in anything, I think it's John Voight. They're just a little baby snake.
John Voight being swallowed by a snake is awesome, says Gap. Okay. I'll take
It is, and then he's regurgitated. It's freaking awesome. But that's just the very end of the movie. It's mostly them on like this. It's not a raft. It's like one of those fan motorboat raft things.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez has shorts on, so she looks great. You know.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. We've gone off wrestling again. We've got Arn Anderson in there, of course, a wrestling legend, telling Cody, having a go at Cody, telling him off because he's not taking his feud with Malachi Black seriously enough. He's
what a great name, Malachi.
Yeah, he's another character I think you might get behind. You might enjoy. He's kind of like he's a little darker in his presentation. Really cool. Big fan in IRL. In real life, he's quite a big horror movie fan, influenced quite by a lot of that. So he's a character to keep your eye on. Guys, just so you know, obviously we've moved into this new place. Obviously, you can see the wrestling office. I need to come up with a better name for it behind me. Actually, Emma, you see the figures behind me, the Venom figure and stuff that's behind me. If you can see,
I see Venom.
Venom. So
Yeah,
Jim actually sent me that from because he works at Hasbro. He actually sent me a big parcel of figures to the UK. But anyway, sorry, I digress. That's what I do. So obviously we're in the new house. My Emma, who's obviously sleeping, bought me a tea maker. So I have I have ability now to make cups of tea up here in the office without going downstairs and waking the dog up and bringing all hell upon the neighborhood because he barks like a beast. He's a tiny dog, but he'll wake everybody up. It'll be chaos. So I have my cup. I have my jug of milk. And I have
because tea's not usually traditionally. Anything can be tradition if you make it so, but usually not the beverage of choice with watching wrestling. You are
it is
trying
for
to
me.
stay up.
It is for me. Yeah,
That's
I
cute.
got my tea bag. So what we're gonna do, guys? I'll let you know how it goes. I'm gonna put the tea bag in there. There you go. I'm gonna set this little. I'll let Emma take over for a sec. While I go slightly off screen. I've just knocked the microphone, so I apologize for that. I'm just gonna put you can probably hear it going. Put my little,
Isn't it wonderful to see a wrestling podcast hosted by a Brit? Isn't that so cool?
Oh,
there's something about that.
There's loads, man.
There are.
Yeah, there's loads. But thank you. I'm so glad that you think it's cool. Again,
I do.
Right, okay.
I'm also another super nerdy thing I'm into, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
There's
a whole knit group of Brits that are into that too, because it wasn't something that when it originally aired that was available in England right away. So they saw it through the movie because the movie which is not the best one, it's good, it's got the proper mads and everything like that. But I know on social media, one of the main Brits of the fan club that got the Mads, Frank Conniff and Trace Bulliot to come over to England, and it's just so cool how many. It's just really cool to see wrestling go the American wrestling. Have you watched any of the Japanese stuff?
What, New Japan? Pro wrestling.
New Japan, yeah.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, not loads. But I'd like to see more.
I haven't seen any of it, but it was recommended, highly recommended to me. They said you'd like it, and I don't know what they meant by that. So because I haven't seen it yet, so
it's really theatrical.
I was wondering. You were my barometer.
Very theatrical. So yeah, very very cool. Cody still doesn't realize he's a heel. No, he doesn't. He wants to be the perpetual good guy, does Cody? But he won't. The Oak Room. It's a little dark. Is that a film, Gav? I've not seen the Oak Room.
I haven't seen it, so that's new to me.
Yeah. So we got John Moxley coming out in the crowd. We got Darby Allin and Sting as well with Eddie Kingston. There's Sting. Emma, for your reference.
Oh, Boston Red Sox fans. Oh my God, that's where I am.
Oh my God. Pack the cat and have it yet.
Gotta pack the cat and have it yet.
Pack the cat and have it yet. I would have had Cody turn on. I think that's coming, Owen. I do. Nice to see you as well. I believe you're new to the stream, relatively new. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're okay. We'll do the plug thing since we got a few people in.
There's the face that you were telling me about.
There you go. That's Darby's face. Yeah, that's Darby. So if you guys haven't liked the video yet, please do. If you haven't subscribed, please do. This is my good friend Emma of the Impact. You can give her a follow. It's on the screen. We've got Darby in the ring now. With Darby's in the ring. He does not want to shake that dude's hand. There you go. So Darby's he's rolling him up. No. Yeah, so I think Darby's got a really good future, man. He's a smaller dude, like he's not like built, but he's super talented, you know what I mean? So I've got a lot of time for him.
It's amazing how I've only seen it in All Elite Wrestling, those belts that were popular in the early 2000s that he's wearing right now there. I mean, I've only like that, though everyone had those in the early 2000s, and they haven't come back in general fashion yet. But on Elite, I see it all the time. Where are they buying them?
I know,
Spencer's?
Man. Honestly, grunge and goth is I'm pretty sure it must be the same in the US, but over here it's come back now a lot. Goth and grunge culture, like obviously
Y2K fashion.
Yeah, that was our time, Now the kids now they're all doing it, and I'm like, they're all painting their nails like we were doing, and I'm like,
they call it like for us, in America anyway, they called it like you're a Hot Topic goth, and now they call it mall goth, but it's cool now to be a mall goth. It wasn't cool then. It was like ugh, but it's like I'm a teenager. Where do you think I'm gonna buy my clothes?
Absolutely.
I was a proud Hot Topic goth.
That was well, to me, Hot Topic was because we had alternative stores, but they were only very small. So when I went into my first Hot Topic, like over there, I was like, "Holy, this is amazing!" So I bought all the stuff, bought all the fishnets. It's
like
everything.
Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It really was. So I've got a lot of fun memories of being in Hot Topic in the US. But
the Trip pants. I remember when we first met, you were wearing, like, if it wasn't Trip, it was something like the baggy Trip pants.
The baggy pants,
with the straps.
The baggy pants. Yeah, that was it.
I like those stuff.
Yeah, I still got some photos somewhere. It's actually weird. Today I was because I've obviously just finished moving out from my old place, and I found some stuff in storage. And I found today a flask that I got from Pumpkin Fest in 2005 from Keane.
Yeah!
I was like, no way. And I also forgot that I was on the dean's list for the semester I was there. And a bit, I was on the dean's list, and I didn't even know that was a thing. I just found the document saying I was on the dean's list.
You didn't even you had a certificate saying you were on the dean's list, but you didn't even know.
Yeah, crazy. I got it in the post. I got it in the post to my UK address at the time, but I'd forgotten about it. Same with like I also got like a bunch of checks in the mail as well, because I was working at Keene, and like
that's right, you were doing.
I was like a security person, which is unbelievable to me now, like campus security or something. But yeah, so I got a bunch of checks that were like nearly out of date from Keen for that job in the post.
And it's probably like, oh, it's been a long time. I mean, those are probably like, oh man, I remember when my checks used to be this size.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh my god.
So we've done a terrible job calling the wrestling today. Sorry guys, but I believe
You mighty botched it.
I've mighty botched it. Yeah. So the faces, Sting, Darby, Marks, and Kingston just beat the heels there. Now we're getting Sting doing a death, doing his finisher to whoever that guy is. I can't remember his name. While Eddie Kingston holds up the Brodie Lee signs. So again, a lot of people chanting for Brodie. A lovely moment for sure. Ruby Soho now doing a promo.
Brodie Lee.
Absolutely.
What a great crowd.
We have to go to an AEW show when I'm back over, man. I'd love to. I've never, obviously, there is a plan for them to bring it over to the UK for a couple of big shows. Obviously, Tony Khan, who owns AEW, also owns a soccer team over here called Fulham, and that's sort of closest to London. And so he was on about bringing AEW to that stadium to perform next
that would
year.
be
So
awesome.
I'd like to see that, but I'd like to do it with you guys. You know, I'd like to come over to the US and do an AEW show. So that's definitely the plan. Owen says Darby and Sting would be a nice heel duo. Yeah, but you can't turn Sting heel yet, man. Everybody loves Sting, you know. Everybody loves Sting. But I see what you mean, Owen Prey. I do. It would be interesting to see. Now, of course, don't know if you remember, but there's Matt Hardy in the ring, Emma, who you'll remember from the Hardy Boys.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. It's like, and I see how much he's aged. I'm like, I've aged too.
Yeah, haven't we all? And here we have Orange Cassidy, who has the best theme song. It's Tony Khan paid the Pixies a bunch of money to license "Where Is My Mind" for his theme.
Still not as good as Sexy Boy.
I mean, I prefer listening to the Pixies, but yeah. So this is Orange Cassidy. This is freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. He's got quite.
I mean, generally in music, the Pixies obviously better, but you know, when it comes to wrestling theme songs,
yeah, I know what you
Sexy
mean.
Boy, Sexy
Absolutely.
Boy. He's not your boy toy.
Absolutely.
Damn, I miss Shawn Michaels. I need somebody bring Shawn Michaels back for me.
Absolutely, yeah. He'll be coming. So he'll come back at some point, but it won't be in AEW.
He'll be in WWE.
Absolutely,
Oh,
just
yeah.
as we see the Dark Order out there. Of course, Brodie Lee's son, who is he's dubbed as Negative One, is his wrestling alias. Negative One is Brodie Lee's son, and he's walking out with the Dark Order now, which is lovely. Dark Order, these guys in the masks, Emma, they were Brodie Lee's faction before he passed away. His team, so of course, all synonymous with Brodie Lee. Everybody enjoying.
What's the Legacy Foundation there?
Yeah, so that's John Huber. John Huber was Brodie Lee's real name. So that's a foundation. I've just got the press release actually through from AEW to my work email, because we get to do a little bit with AEW now. It's what that is for. So the it is. I'll get the PDF up for everybody who's interested. So beginning in 2022, the foundation will select a group of creative individuals to support with resources, connections, practical skills, and direct funding. The cohort will meet throughout the year to learn from experts in areas including business planning, artist management, public relations. And what that is, Emma, from what I can gather, is training wrestlers to be a little bit more savvy with, you know, kind of preparing for the future. So after wrestling, so it's like making wrestlers aware, younger wrestlers aware of, you know, how to save money, how to plan for the future, that kind of thing. So that's what that foundation has been set up for, is to help younger people, younger wrestlers to kind of get a bit more experience in, kind of managing their money, managing themselves as a business, which is lovely.
Sit down. Sorry to interrupt you, Dom. No, you don't have to be on the stream. You're not visible there, dear.
Hey,
you gotta work? That Dom says hi.
Nice to see you. Hey.
He is still. He got me some wine though.
Good, that's awesome. I just noticed noticed your glass of wine. That's really
auction
cool.
bids. Go do that.
Very nice. See you. Bye, Tom.
It would be great if I had mentioned that it. Yeah, he works. He's a stamp dealer. So for the he's Swedish. So this is very foreign to him. I don't know. They must. I can't think that this airs in Sweden.
What was that?
I wouldn't think this airs in Sweden, or does it?
No,
I mean,
I'm sure it does.
The website you watch it through.
Yeah, you can watch it on Fight pretty much around the world, so it's cool. As we're just going back, so we've got a Private Party, I believe, with a tag team in the ring now with Orange Cassidy getting suplexed. Orange Cassidy getting thrown to the mat now. We've got two Cassidys facing off against each other. So one guy is called Cassidy, the other guy is called Cassidy. That's very confusing. A lot of people in AEW have the same name, the same second name. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's got me a little. For someone that's just coming back into it, I think I'm like, yeah, I know Cassidy, and then I'm like, oh no, that's not the Cassidy I was thinking of.
Yeah, there's two different. There was two different ones in the ring at the same time just then.
I'm interested with the ladies later on.
Absolutely.
Did you watch China Doll back in the day?
Mm-mm.
No, that was not when you were watching.
Mm.
I can't. Was she WWE?
Okay. So, no, China. Yeah. That was. You confused me with China Doll. Yeah, she was just called China. She was just called China, and she was in Degeneration X in WWE. Yeah. I think that's the one, right? The same person.
It's the same person.
Yeah,
I just thought of her as China Doll for some reason in my head. I don't know
okay.
Why.
It's all right. She has a great legacy. She was amazing. She was an amazing performer. I think it was the first time in wrestling you saw a female get in the ring with a male performer and legitimately you thought she could be, she could win those matches, and that was wonderful. It was a huge turning point for female performers in the wrestling business, and obviously opened up a door for a lot of the women's revolution, which we're seeing now more so in WWE. And I think that's one criticism I do have for AEW, Emma, is that they're really still working on their women's division. You don't see a lot of women's matches on AEW, and that's something that I think, and a lot of people do think they need to work on a bit more.
They'll get there. I have faith in them.
I hope so too. So we're seeing the heels here. So of course the Dark Order there, the faces very much so at the moment. We've got Matt Hardy's team are definitely the heels. They are in control now.
Matt Hardy, 2021. Matt Hardy, God bless him. I had a friend, Jessica. I can't remember if it was Matt or his brother, but she pretty much was in love with both of them. That was her thing.
Jeff Hardy as well is still going. He's still in WWE. So they're both brothers are in different promotions. Jeff Hardy still looks really good. He's a very attractive man still. I imagine if you grew up as a goth and you grew up as an alternative kid, you fancied Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was he's very, very very, very, very sexy. I don't mind saying that. I think he's a good looking man. I definitely had a bit of a crush on Jeff Hardy when I was growing up, for sure.
I mean, I could see it. I like the guys a little bit either on the chunky side or on the wafer side, as you've seen. So it's just the muscular ones are not usually my type, but I can appreciate the physique. I can appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we have a bit of dissension in the Dark Order right now. The Dark Order, of course, yeah, a little bit of dissension. I've got us 1, 2. All right, so the Dark Order now getting into a brawl with the heels there. So negative
Who's
1.
the fellow with the number 7 jersey on with the dual colored hair?
That's Isaiah Cassidy. Isaiah Cassidy. So not Orange Cassidy, but Isaiah Cassidy is that guy, I think.
So I'm trying to retain it. It's
okay. It's difficult. It's difficult. Now we're seeing, of course. So that is Brodie Lee's wife telling the Dark Order to get it together to support, for tonight, to get in the ring and work together, of course, in memory of Brodie. So that's what they're doing. So you got
over there in Rochester.
Indeed.
Oh, it's amazing how fast they can get in that ring.
Beautiful work from the Dark Order. Top action tonight.
Have you seen the movie The Wrestler?
Yeah. Was that the one with
Rourke?
Mickey Rourke. Yeah. It was awesome.
I really liked that movie a lot.
Me too.
I mean, I liked how the camera was always kind of behind him, like it was shot like with the WWE, like they're always going out in the ring, even if he's just going out into a bar. Great movie. Sad.
Absolutely.
Terribly sad, but also the ending I thought was quite beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, he gives you a real reflection on what it can be like for people. You know what I mean? Obviously.
Well, that's why that foundation thing sounds so appealing. I think of because I've heard that more so with WWE with Vince McMahon, they don't get a lot of good healthcare coverage and such. Not so many injuries.
Absolutely. So that
I only know lightly. I mean, Dark Order. Sorry, I'm digressing.
No,
talking about healthcare. What's wrong with me?
It's okay. No.
I was asking you. You know more so than I do about that.
No. Well, so as we just celebrate with the Dark Order getting a win right now, again, good moment for Brodie Lee and Brodie Lee. Well, the memory of Brodie Lee and Brodie Lee Jr., of course, getting in the ring now, which is awesome. But yeah, so healthcare, so one of the big things in WWE, as you were saying, Emma, sorry to interrupt you, was that there's not a lot of healthcare for people in WWE, and really not great. And they're trying to unionize now. They're trying to do more of that. And AEW seems to be, Emma, that AEW are paying more attention to their performers and supporting.
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I get why the Dark Order was in disarray, so they could bring Brodie's wife back and -1 back. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people thought that it was going to be the debut of Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda tonight, but obviously he's still under his 90-day no-compete clause from WWE. A lot of rumors saying that he's going to go back there anyway. This makes more sense that they were going to bring Brodie's son and wife back in to kind of reconnect the Dark Order, because obviously they had split away. So that's good angle. I'm sure it's disappointing for those that wanted Bray Wyatt here, but obviously for the point, the point is to commemorate and the memory of Brodie Lee. So it's a beautiful moment to see -1 in the ring with his mum, and then obviously the Dark Order there as we go to break. We did also see a little bit before then Lio Rush promo. Lio Rush, a great young talent from the independent scene. Looks like he's going to be debuting in AEW soon, so that's exciting because he's a great talent. So what do you like? Yeah, the healthcare system. Going back to what you were saying, Emma. The healthcare system over where you guys are isn't great anyway, and the support for performers and artists doesn't seem to be that great. So it's good to see, you know, foundations like the John Huber Foundation being set up to support young creatives, to be a bit more aware of what options are available to them.
Most certainly. I mean, how many? I mean, is it common like with football in the sense that a lot of wrestlers then become coaches?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of wrestlers stay in the business,
Or managers. I'm sorry, managers is the better word, right?
Yeah, they sort of they stay in the business somehow. I mean, Shawn Michaels, what he does is he works backstage for WWE now. So he's now a trainer. So he trains younger performers, younger wrestlers. So you know that's kind of what tends to happen with a lot of these guys is they kind of get older and they finish up and then they become trainers, managers, and they stay in the business that way. Which I think is great, you know, because again, you know, if you're going to learn to become a wrestler, Emma, you want to be taught by the Heartbreak Kid. You want to be taught by Shawn Michaels.
You do. Yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
But Hogan doesn't do that, does he? Or the Undertaker?
Well, Hogan,
what are they doing?
The Undertaker has been doing, but Hogan got into a lot of trouble recently, recent years. So Hogan's kind of been, he's been back in WWE for a couple of things. But very rarely, because he made some inappropriate comments quite publicly. So he's kind of been...
Yeah. He made some very Southern things.
Yes, indeed.
As a Yankee up here, let me just say that.
Yeah,
not that all Southerners have that attitude, but yeah, I remember what you're saying. I'd forgotten that, but you know, yeah. So
he's
stay out of it.
Yeah, he's not been. So he's been banned. Completely banned from AEW. Tony Khan has completely, you know, publicly banned him from ever appearing in an AEW arena.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, but Vince McMahon has had him back a couple of times.
Well, Vince McMahon's not really always the guy that you really hold up to have the most moral values. You know,
Indeed.
I mean, he's not really you know I mean, as much as I remember Hulk Hogan from my childhood, I mean, he wasn't my favorite or anything. You know, when you say something that is generally ignorant to that effect about anybody, you know, it shouldn't be tolerated. But that's just me. But to get away from the less serious, so the Undertaker still does training, right?
Yeah. So the Undertaker's going to begin training. He's going to be I think that's his. It's going to be his future. He's going to start training people. He's just finished. He's just wound down his wrestling career. There is actually, interestingly enough, Emma, there'll be a Netflix special, an interactive horror-themed Undertaker film on Netflix where the New Day.
I gotta see this.
Yeah, so it's called Escape the Undertaker, and it's coming to Netflix. Hopefully, I think. Well, in America, I think it's October 8th. But it's basically it's like Black Mirror. So your choices inform the decisions on
That's
screen.
So cool.
Yeah. So you've got one of the biggest face factions, biggest good guy factions in WWE called the New Day. They are the ones that enter into the Undertaker's mansion, and you have to help them. Yeah, you have to help them escape. So I'll for those interested, including Emma, I'll find a link and post
definitely. What's Stone Cold up to these days?
Stone Cold's doing a podcast. He does his podcast and enjoys just enjoys retirement. He like I say, he still does his podcast, but he's enjoying his retirement these days. I believe, guys, that's
The Rock doesn't come back to wrestling ever, does he? Or is he too busy acting?
He's still acting, yeah. He's still doing very well in Hollywood. There is talk of him coming back to wrestling in a year's time. So coming back to WWE for the Los Angeles WrestleMania, obviously next year, or I think
that would be really cool. Because I think of him as much as I enjoy him in movies, I think of him as, you know, The Rock first, more than I think of him as Dwayne.
A lot of people, of course, think of him as an actor now, predominantly, and you know that's kind of how I think that's kind of how I see him now. You know, I see him as more of an actor, really. Yeah. You know, so it'd be good to see him. It'd be
Jericho!
Good to see
They're talking about
there you go. Is he coming out? There you
Jericho.
go. So
he's one of my current favorites.
Yeah, of course. Jericho's amazing.
God, I love it.
Yeah. So Scorpio Sky's in the ring now talking, and he's basically saying that, you know, he's not been good enough. And then introducing this guy, Dan Lambert. I've not seen too much about him, the older gentleman in the ring. I don't know too much about him, but I do know he cuts a mean promo. He's very good at talking.
I love this whole wrestlers thing that are bringing back the James Spader, Pretty in Pink, loafers with no socks thing. Most people associate that with Miami Vice, but I didn't watch that in its time because I'm not that old yet. But I think I call it the James Spader look. I like it.
Absolutely. I've always liked it. I've always liked the look of it, but in practice, wearing shoes without socks is just painful. You know, maybe I'm just
sweaty.
Old now.
I think. No, it's smelly at least. Maybe they buy inserts for the loafers.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try that out. Like the sneaker socks or whatever they're called is the way to do it.
Yes.
So there's a pretty intense promo there now from Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky with Dan Lambert in the ring. The heels talking about their how good they are, and I believe we're going to get some backstage stuff now. There's Hikaru Shida talking about her history.
The loafers with no socks, that's just a heel thing too. I love it.
Yeah.
Dan Lambert, really? It must be so fun to be a heel.
I know, right? Yeah. You would play a villain? I'm assuming, Emma.
100%. Because I'm one of those people that if I said something that I think hurt someone's feelings, like in third grade, it still haunts me. So to play a heel, like where it, would be fun, where it's all in fun, really.
Yeah. Cool. So now we've got the Hardy family office back out. So Matt Hardy, no, it's just members of Matt Hardy's new faction, the Buddy and Penelope Ford, I believe, is coming out now. So we do have our first women's match of the night. Penelope Ford and the Bunny coming out now.
It's funny now with the blonde and the makeup, because Harley Quinn is so mainstream now. I always think Harley Quinn when I see that.
Yeah, absolutely, of course, yeah. Did you watch the? They did an animated series that was pretty good. Recently.
I haven't seen it yet. It was the HBO Max one.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet, but it's on my list definitely because I'm more of a Poison. I love Harley Quinn. Like it's hard not to love that character. Mm. But I like Poison Ivy, and apparently there's some good scenes with them in it. Both of them.
Yeah,
and I read the Amanda Cooper comics where her and Ivy are actually in a relationship.
Yeah. That I think that's where, not to spoil it for anybody interested, but certainly the last I saw of it, they were certainly in a complicated relationship. And I thought it was a really interesting dynamic, and that's how they ended the series. So I'd be very interested to see. I think they have green lit a season 3, I believe, but obviously they've not started working on it yet.
That's a character I've really been as some people say it's oversaturated, but I'm really happy to see that character mainstream. Because when we were, I don't know if it was in the UK, but Batman the animated series when we were younger.
Yeah, I watched that.
That's where she came from. Paul Dini created her. She comes from the animated series. She's one of the only characters that's not originally from a comic book. And Arlene Sorkin, who it was a television soap opera star, daytime TV, was the inspiration for the character. It was a alternate time universe of Days of Our Lives where they were all like in medieval times. She played a jester girl. That was Paul Dini's inspiration. And she was always that little, darling that you can kind of see yourself in,
Yeah.
So it's really sweet to see her go mainstream like that.
Yeah, I like I say, I think a lot of the stuff we were watching when we were younger, it's lovely to see, it's lovely to see things come back around and see people kind of, see certain TV shows and cartoons and even like, even like wrestling and video games and stuff that we were loving and we kind of championed when we were kids. It seems to be all coming back now, and I feel like my parents, when they were like, this was all around, this was all around before, when we were listening to, I mean, not that certainly I find it difficult to listen to his music these days, but when we were growing up listening to Marilyn Manson, my dad was always
They mentioned Alice Cooper.
Yeah, of course, Alice Cooper or The Who, and those kind of bands that were kind of like chaotic and kind of frenzied, and so they'd be like, "Oh, Alice Cooper did it first," or whatever. And there's always.
I just went to his concert, Alice Cooper. That is.
Oh, really?
I just went to a concert a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he's still going strong. Alice Cooper.
Great,
he's a sweet
guy.
Great.
It's all the golf he's still playing. He still plays a lot of golf.
Yeah, I know.
So, I think that's it.
I love this new generation. Being on TikTok as much as I am, I love Gen Z. I think they're doing a lot of great things. They're a very creative generation. They're very
absolutely.
They're the whole thing with the body positivity movement
absolutely.
with Lizzo. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think they're great. I love Gen Z. I
absolutely.
do. I know there's always a bad side to every generation, but it's just so nice to see so many great younger folk coming up. I'm excited to see what they come up with. A lot of great art comes from hard times, so I'm excited to see all the art that everyone comes up with after the pandemic and everything.
Yeah, of course. It's interesting as well because there's a lot of diversity now. And obviously we always thought that our generation was very diverse and what we were doing was but there's a lot more kind of open-mindedness, particularly around mental health, a lot more diversity. Obviously like gender's an interesting one at the moment. And you get some really interesting people with really interesting kind of viewpoints on just life. And so I get to work with young people quite a lot. And so it's interesting to kind of get their point of view and see the similarities and differences of what it was like growing up. And I realize I sound like a really old person when I say this stuff.
I know, but I love these kids today.
Yeah, those young people today. Yeah.
So, but they don't like when the whole the torch being passed of skinny jeans are out and side parts, one generation to the next, like it does every time. I think a lot of it is us millennials, the youngest millennials being in their late 20s, heading to 30, and those are the youngest of us. Yeah. We're just realizing we're not the young ones anymore. We're not old, but we're not the young ones anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It's surreal, isn't it? Especially because I'm around obviously not super young kids, so now sort of approaching teenage years in the next few years, and it's so weird, because one thing that I've noticed is, and I'm aware we're not talking about wrestling, so I do apologize, guys. One of the things I've noticed is, the reliance on technology. I do believe there seems to be an over-reliance on technology, even, positively and negatively, which I guess we kind of had, but we had it a bit less, do you know what I mean? Like we were still
Like,
reliant
I
on
didn't have a cell phone until I was in college. Like, it wasn't a cell phone the way we have cell phones now. It was just like a flip phone with numbers, and texting was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But do you think that there's do you think there is a Gen Z, a large Gen Z fan base for AEW, WWE?
I think so. I think, more so AEW, I think, more so AEW. I think AEW have kind of got it right. I think, they don't patronize the fans. I think there's a lot of stuff in WWE that's great. But there's a lot more, it's a bit more kind of patronizing. WWE treats their fans like they have no intelligence. And I think AEW, and it's been consistently shown in the demographics. So you 16 to 40 demographic, AEW are winning in that. They're beating WWE because they're a bit more respectful, by all accounts, of wrestling fans.
Yeah, and and the newer generations also don't have that nostalgic hold either. So so when you don't have that nostalgic hold over you, and you feel like you're kind of talked down to, why do I have to put up with this?
Absolutely.
And there's just there's something just this is forgive me for being so broad, but there's just something about AEW that's a little fresher. I know that is such a broad thing to say, but I don't know how else to say it.
And I think that's a really interesting point, and a lot of people do agree with you. We tend to be more these days. We started as a very WWE centric channel. What we were doing was all WWE content, and then as the years have gone on, we've been doing this for a few years now. In terms of, we pre-recorded a lot of videos, so we've only been doing like streams like this since the pandemic. But we pre-recorded a lot of videos, and it was all old WWE content, But as we've kind of been doing live streams and having to watch, WWE like live, it gets really draining. Like it's not only the time difference, obviously, but also the content. Quite patronizing. But AEW seems to be great, and this is so. Just to direct your attention, this is the guy that I would compare to Shawn Michaels in terms of his,
Okay, the
so good.
And someone else in the chat had commented on that.
Yeah, so good at being bad. So I'm going to be quiet for a change and let you enjoy the promo.
Is this him with the scarf?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like the velvet coat. I'm liking this. CM Punk. It's so cool to see him here. CM, that is.
Yeah. Good night.
Mm. He's loving hearing that crowd say his name.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got Darby coming out now.
Sorry. I love it so much. They're so good at this.
He's definitely the best heel going right now is MJF. We're just watching Darby come out and interrupt MJF. Jeff says best promo in the game. I think you're right. I wonder how long they're going to keep Jade undefeated, and will Awesome Kong ever come back and make an appearance? I think she's retired now, Raymond, but that's a good point. Just being quiet, guys, so that Emma can enjoy her first MJF promo.
Thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate it. Is it weird? I think there's something UK-ish about him.
What, MJF? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the Burberry. It's the Burberry scarf. You know? Such a good promo, man. Now MJF attacking Darby Allin's straight edge lifestyle.
Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me. Ooh.
He's so evil, isn't he?
I get into it. I get so into it. I'm sorry.
He's so evil. Wardlow and MJF leaving the ring. Darby stood in the ring. We're probably going to see MJF and Darby face off at some point off the back of this, guys. It should be a wicked match.
He's just.
Oh. Hang on. You've frozen, I think. I think you might have frozen. Hopefully we'll get Emma back soon. Orange Cassidy and Jack Evans advertised for Rampage. The Elite coming up. So we got Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb. Casino ladder match against in the AEW Dynamite anniversary. So we'll have to watch that at some point. I think we'll probably watch the anniversary match. We're going to get Miro and Sammy Guevara tonight. I don't think we're getting Bray Wyatt at all. So I'm just going to... Oh, hang on. I think Emma's going to come back in at some point. Hopefully Emma's coming back in at some point. When I see Emma, I will bring her back onto the stream. Unfortunately, can't. They've got to connect their camera and microphone so we can get Emma back on. But hopefully, you guys are enjoying the stream, guys. It's been a pleasure. Obviously, we haven't talked a lot about wrestling. A lot of this has been me and Emma actually catching up. Again, it's been lovely to catch up with Emma. You know, and talk movies and wrestling. So hopefully, we'll have her back as soon as possible. MJF, so we've got Miro and Sammy Guevara next for the TNT Championship, which will be super, super awesome. Yeah, I don't think we're getting Bray Wyatt. A lot of people talk about Bray Wyatt returning to WWE now. So we'll see what happens there. It's been a really enjoyable Dynamite, guys. Obviously, I've been chatting a lot, but I really enjoyed that interaction between Darby and MJF. In terms of match of the night, there's some pretty good stuff. Obviously, the Dark Order stuff on a night honoring Brodie is wonderful. That's been fantastic. Sort of just to see the work that they've done, to honor Brodie Lee has always been fantastic over the last sort of year, anyway. But yeah, so it's been awesome. 7 people in right now. If you haven't liked the video yet, please do. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do. I am the Mighty Botch, so called by Emma, as a reference to the Mighty Boosh. For those that have seen that, we're on a break currently in AEW and obviously going into the main event of the evening. I'll just see if I can get Emma back in at some point. Not connected devices yet. Fingers crossed she'll be coming back. I may have a third cup of tea, but I'm pretty wired. Actually. So yeah, what have you guys thought? What have you guys thought of this show? Have you enjoyed it? Like I say, it's been good. I've enjoyed it more because I've had my friend on stream as well. MJF got shut up. That's why it's weird. He never shuts up. Oh, Emma's back. Hang on, we'll bring Emma back on. Hello.
Hi, sorry about that. My whole internet for my area has been spotty. Like even the TV was having trouble. So sorry about that.
It's okay.
It's out of
right.
Mercury is in retrograde, so
don't worry. This is streaming. It's like live streaming is temperamental. You got to get used to this stuff. It's really difficult. My internet's done the same thing. We've dropped out in the middle of a stream. I've had to rejoin on my phone. Before honestly, it's difficult. Raymond.
So you're a tad on your stream. You're a tad ahead of me because, MJF left. You said he was leaving and he hadn't left yet for me, but you're just a tad ahead, just a tad.
Okay.
But that was a good promo.
It was good. Them. Yeah. You see, that's the guy I would sort of super evil. In terms of his promo, says some really on the nose stuff. He's not afraid to be a dick. Is MJF, and I think that works. That really works for him. So Raymond says MJF got shut up. That's weird. He never shuts up. He's the greatest mouth going in wrestling today. Is that the Did he get a shut up chant, Raymond? I couldn't hear that with the crowd chanting for him to shut up. That's interesting. I you know, people tend. It's interesting. He's the kind of guy that rubs people. Either people take it like, say, Emma would take it and enjoy it. You know, enjoy the kind of it's evil, but it's kind of obviously, you know, it's obviously it's a scripted promo. But then some people I've heard really are offended by some of the things he says, because it was a couple of weeks ago. He was doing a promo on. So there's a younger guy in AEW, Emma, called Brian Pillman Jr. Now, when we were growing up in the Attitude Era of WWE, there was a guy called Brian Pillman, obviously Brian Pillman Jr.'s dad. Now, so they were in like his hometown last week, and they bought Brian Pillman Jr. out to fight MJF, and MJF was like, his whole promo against Brian Pillman Jr. was like, "Oh, your dad was a drug addict, you know, and he, you know, he died, and you know." And he was like dancing on his grave in the ring, type of stuff, you know. So like, you know, he went out to his wife, because I think his wife or somebody related to him was in the crowd, and like was like, do you want to punch me? You want to punch me, don't you? And you know, called, you know, and like was like, oh, just go back to taking drugs or something, like Brian. And it's like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff's really on the nose for some people, you know. Just like that promo you saw with Darby, that's a legitimate reason why he does the half face paint thing, was because his uncle did actually die in a car accident. Oh yeah. So it's all.
And apparently the wrong man died, according to him. I just I like I have fun with the heels, but I totally get, because those are very deeply personal things, and even if you know it's part of a written promo, that's a deep cut. Like if someone said that to you, and that's something that's part of your past, that's one of the worst things you could say to somebody. That's rough. That's really rough.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So I totally get that, 100%. That's rough.
Yeah, very, very difficult, very, very difficult. And you know, I think, you know, like I say, I think if you're a wrestling fan and you appreciate it, you know what I mean. You appreciate the performance of it. It's a performance. It's kind of ridiculous, you know, in a lot of ways. Then, you know, fair enough, you know. But I think a lot of people do. Struggle. You know, a lot of people do struggle with it. A lot of people take it seriously. If you go on Twitter, you know, there's a lot of wrestling fans that, you know. You know, a lot of people take it really seriously. A lot of people are really offended by it. You know, if you go, like I say, go on wrestling Twitter.
Twitter's a place where that gets very serious about any topic. It can. Not that it's not legitimate at all. I mean, because it is. I'm on Twitter too much. So, but you know, I see. Maybe it's just because, you know, I don't know if it's because I grew up with. I don't know. I just see that if you see it coming, it's not really. If you see an insult coming, it kind of takes the power away from it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and yeah, you know, I'm personally a big fan of MJF's. I think he's one of the best bad guys in the business. But like I say, I've engaged with people on here before and on Twitter, and they're just like, oh, he's the most evil person in the world. I'm like, well, it's a play.
Yeah, but he's so good at it.
Yeah, he is
good at being evil.
He is really
good. And sometimes it's not always true, but sometimes it can be. The people that play evil characters or personas tend to actually be pretty sweet people. Because you know you're kind of a sweeter person in your real personal life.
Yeah,
so it's fun to play to completely different than what you are, you know, because that's not something you'd ever do in your personal life.
Yeah, it's a performance, isn't it? And you know, like, I think that's a big part of, you know, some of the stuff you do, and certainly I always enjoy performing. But it's you know, some people, again, I admire that some people believe in it to the point where it offends them. The power of it. I think that's the power of performance, isn't it? I mean, that's a deeper conversation.
Yeah, that's a big one
for a different time. But yeah, So Mikhail asked where the glasses are. Well, I took them off. I took them off because they were getting in the way of me enjoying the wrestling. I took them off. I'm sorry, Mikhail, if you prefer me with glasses on. If this wasn't wrestling, I would take it seriously, but it's a promo, and MJF has the heel gab for it. He's very good. You know, if it wasn't wrestling, you know, you would take it seriously. But that's what we're here for. We're here to enjoy the performance as
it gets us into it. We got to get in. It gets us invested in the fight. You know, it gets us invested in their beat.
Absolutely. As we have Sammy Guevara now challenging Miro for the TNT Championship in the main event of AEW Dynamite. Sammy Guevara, the much shorter dude, obviously a bit of an underdog in this match. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, a lot of people want Sammy to win. He's a whoa, oh dear. That was scary. Oof. That was frightening. Miro.
See, I'm a little bit. He's just climbing the rope right now.
Okay.
For me.
Wait, yeah, you're gonna see.
He's just rising up right now. Oh my God! Ooh.
Yeah. That was scary. That.
Now he's holding him like a baby. Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah. Now he's not. Now he's throwing him off. Now Miro's playing to the crowd now. We've got 10 minutes left, I think, of AEW Dynamite. So let's see. Miro looking super confident as the heel, the bad guy. He's looks like Sammy's hurt his leg as well. Maybe on that.
It's weird on TNT. They're having a commercial next to split screen it.
The picture in picture. Yeah.
An ad for Popeye's chicken.
Miro getting taken out by Guevara. He's obviously favoring his leg after that fall earlier. And now Miro with a fall away slam onto Guevara.
Ooh.
Yeah. Intense.
I still got the split screen, and I'm watching the fight, and then I'm watching Snoop Dogg hand Coronas to people on the beach.
I mean,
it's just like it's a real world. I don't know. I love it, though. I love it. I love every moment.
Again, it's glorious theatre, isn't it? Glorious theatre, you know. That's what you got to remember. Is it's theatre and it's awesome. What we're doing is we're watching theatre, we're watching performers, and you and I both understand that. You know, it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see as Miro looks in complete control of Guevara. Guevara, of course, the face in this match, the good guy, but he looks to be getting absolutely destroyed by Miro.
He still has the better hair, though.
What, Guevara? Yeah, he has really good hair.
Yeah. What are the are they called? What was that wrestler? The Mexican wrestler from way back, Santos. It was one that he had a lot of movies too, like Santos versus the Devil and all that kind of stuff.
Hang on a second, I'll have to find out for you because I don't know. Santos versus. Oh, hang on. No, I'm trying to think. There must you had Rey Mysterio. There was Eddie Guerrero as well.
Let me look. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking, because I'm thinking about old. Give me a second.
I'll start calling. Excuse me, I'll start calling wrestling. Miro took Guevara down with a big clothesline.
Oh, Samson.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I got, so it was so one of the more popular ones is Samson versus the Vampire Women, but I'm looking him at get him a more wrestling point of view.
Oh. Yeah, crowds seem to be getting more into Miro here, which is surprising. Obviously, usually as a heel, usually he's a bad guy, but the crowd seem to be into him. Wow, what an amazing counter by Sammy Guevara. Big, what do they call that? I can't remember what they call that move, but you'll see it in a minute, Emma. You're about a few seconds behind me, but you'll know what I mean when you see it.
He's on the ground right now, yeah.
Yeah. Big super kick from Guevara.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Shining Wizard by Guevara.
So the guy, I think you said the Rodolfo Hureta. Did you say that name?
Yeah. Awesome. I didn't know that, but that's good to know. Good to know.
1917 and 1984
No way.
Mexican wrestler.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, out of the ring.
That was amazing. What a flip. What a flip.
Oh, I just saw the flip. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind you.
No, it's okay. No, it's amazing. It's good to see your reactions to it.
Oh my God! Imagine the strength to do that.
Absolutely.
The control, and now he's climbing the ropes for me.
Yeah, amazing stuff from Guevara. Yeah, what a talent! What a talent! Miro now setting up for his finisher. He's going to do that. He's going to do a big running super kick on Guevara to finish him off and get him ready for the submission. Unless he, oh no, Guevara ducks it. Big knee in the corner. Second big knee from Guevara. Big kick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I just saw the knee strike.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one.
Miro going for a superplex on the top now. Guevara manages to counter that. What a cutter. Cutter from Guevara. Guevara's setting up Miro. Can he lift him? No, he can't lift him. Boom, big kick. 1, 2, kick out.
Ooh.
Awesome. Good match. This would be my match of the night. It's probably the one I've watched the most of, to be fair. But it's definitely my match of the night so far. Really good.
Yeah. There's more of a delay than I thought because he was just trying to lift him.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll pause and see if that.
Oh, you don't have to do that. I don't want you to have to miss it. I know you're gonna miss it. I don't. That's such an old person thing. You will miss it if you pause it. No, I should have signed on to the FIT fight thing.
It's okay.
But
Next time.
I tried to have next time. I tried to have faith that there wouldn't be too much of a delay. I didn't. I just wanted to be fancy with my American cable.
Oh wait. So Miro took off the turnbuckle, but that's just backfired on him. Tornado DDT by Guevara to Miro after Miro went into the turnbuckle. Guevara got him up for the finish of the GTH. No pin from Guevara there, going up to the top.
Oh.
Guevara going up top. 6:30 say on center. 1, 2, 3. No way.
No, you're right. Ooh.
Let me know when you get there.
He's just on top of the ropes right now, flipping him up. Oh,
that was amazing.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2. There we go.
There you go.
God.
So we got a new TNT champion, guys. Exciting times. Brilliant work. Sammy Guevara deserves it. He's the Dark Order are out here as well. Everybody's congratulating Sammy Guevara, and I believe that's it. So I believe Dynamite is off. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and of course, thank you to Emma for joining us as well.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We've had a few people in. Thank you for your support. If you come back to watch this video afterwards, hopefully you've enjoyed watching us watch wrestling, but mainly talk to each other and catch up and talk about movies. But we appreciate you being here. We will have Emma back on the channel at some point, possibly for a film stream of Mr. Nanny or something along those lines. We will be doing more of those. On the channel. That is a plan. So Emma, we normally do a couple of things. So we normally ask for a grade out of 10. So obviously we've been watching wrestling on and off through the couple of hours. But from what you've seen, what would be your grade out of 10 for this show?
For this show as a whole?
Yeah.
Oh, so I was focusing more on you until this last match. I would say with the promo, I'd give it a B+.
Okay, we'll go for B+. Okay, it's like an 8 out of 10, B+. Yeah, I'm gonna say a 7, but that's only because I've spent a lot of time. So again, it's great for me. Normally the people we have on the stream, I sort of interact with. Like I say, I see quite regularly, but this has been quite special for me because it's been great to see. Been great to see Emma after so long. So it's been nice to talk wrestling, been nice to talk movies with Emma as well. So it's been a pleasure to have Emma on. We normally call a little bit more wrestling, but it doesn't matter because it's been a special time for me, and also it's been good to have a few people in. So thank you guys so much for your time and energy. I'm going to say 7 out of 10 is a grade. I'm going to say match of the night because I guess me and you both paid attention to the same one. I'm going to say Miro.
Yeah, that's definitely my match of the night too. But
Miro and Guevara. I enjoyed the Dark Order stuff because obviously some really nice moments paying tribute to Brodie Lee. Excuse me. So that was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you. Hopefully, you've enjoyed what we've done tonight. Again, if you come back and watch this afterwards, we appreciate your attention and time. Hopefully you enjoyed But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the show. Of course, AEW Dynamite is the most important thing. That's what we're here to watch. Hopefully you enjoyed the Brodie Lee tribute and the matches. I will be back on Friday to watch the first hour of the draft, or the first couple of hours of the draft on SmackDown. And then I'll be back, unfortunately, for 3 to 4 hours of Raw on Monday, because that's the second hour of the draft, the second part of the draft on WWE. I'm hoping Anthony will be back doing AEW with you next week on Wednesday. But more importantly, because our special guest is still with us, we will have Emma back on the podcast soon to watch some movies, to talk wrestling, to do all that stuff. We look forward to having you back, Emma.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. You know, it's great to get back into wrestling.
Fantastic. So we'll catch up a little bit after the stream. But for now, guys, I'm going to count us down. You know how it goes. I count us down from 5 and I say, "Hull yeah," repeatedly. And then I keep it going until I get the right outro, because I never remember what the right outro is. We're going to count down from 5 and we're going to say, "Hull yeah," and we'll see you soon. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
Hull yeah!
This is Broken Matt Hardy. Thank you for watching the Gimme a Whole Yeah Wrestling Podcast.